Hello, good morning. Hey, Sarah. That's a first. You're the only one in the room right now. Can you hear me very well? Let's see where I'm at. I'm behind an island in this lake. Yeah, it's a nice spot. I'm in 28 feet of water right now. This is a deep reservoir. It's called Bibb Pond. It's over here in Bibb City. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. We're catfishing today on the Chattahoochee. I'm in a reservoir between the dam and the power generating station. So it's more like a body, it's more like a lake than the river, but it is still technically part of the river. The difference being the current is down low and not on the surface. I was kind of hoping the water would be cooler in deeper water and the fish might be more active, so that's the reason why I chose this spot today. Oh, well, thanks, Robert. I really appreciate that. Happy birthday. How old are you? Thanks for the subscription too. That's really awesome. Everybody wish Robert a happy birthday today. Today's his birthday. Robert, you're 10? All right, well, I'm going to have to watch my language. Make sure I don't curse. Happy birthday, Robert. That's really cool. Do you like to fish, Robert? Nice. What do you fish for? Anything that bites? Yeah, just fish for fun, man. Same here. I do like to target catfish, but you know, I fish for anything. Um, Fishing is a good time. There's nothing wrong with fishing for fun. You got a 10-pound bass? That's way bigger than any bass I've ever caught. The biggest bass I caught was probably 7 pounds. That was a long time ago. All right, Sarah, I'll see you later. Have a good day. I recently caught a 40-pound flathead. I didn't have my scale at the time that I caught it, but I would estimate it was 35 to 40 pounds. 40 pounds pretty easily. Hey, Mr. C. Yeah, Robert, it's sunrise just happened a few minutes ago. I think it's like 7 o'clock, something like that around here. 7 o'clock in the morning. So where at in the world are you, Robert? I'm going to guess you're in India. My favorite fish is flathead and blue catfish. Followed by probably stripers, hybrids, and white bass. You live in California, so you're up early today. You're either up late or you're up early. They do have some big bass in California, that's for sure. The water out there, I'm not sure if they had bass naturally or if they imported bass, but they built some big reservoirs in California, and the Bassmaster tournaments used to go there a lot. And there was some big fish caught out of there. Matter of fact, I think the world record may come out of California. Okay, you stayed up. I can't do that anymore. I'm getting too old. I gotta have my beauty sleep. Once you get 2 gray stripes in your beard, you gotta sleep. Those are the rules. Mr. C, did you end up going fishing yesterday? No, Robert, I've never been deep sea fishing. I even lived in Hawaii for a time in my early 20s. I was stationed in the Army there, and I never went deep sea fishing. One of my regrets. I wish I would have gone. Hey, SWC. Nice to see you again. Everybody, if you're in the room and you want some good channels to follow, SWC Florida is a great channel to follow. He puts out really good fishing content. Mr. C has been one of my best viewers since I started. He's a really good guy. He's one of my moderators. Give him a follow if you'd like. The Black Powder Store. Interesting. SWC Florida is down in Florida, obviously, and he's a charter captain. So if you're ever in Florida and you want to go fishing and you're in his area, hit him up. Even though his wife outfishes him in every video. Mr. C, you have black powder rifles, black powder weapons. Yeah. See, the deal is when SWC Florida, when his wife outfishes him, he's such a good charter captain that he's putting her on the fish. Robert, was it a ocean fish or a freshwater fish? Nice. That sounds like a good weekend, Mr. C. Get to go to the black powder store and then get to go fishing. Hey SWC, let me ask you a question. I put a graph, an older graph on my boat here, and I'm getting used to it. I got it tuned pretty good, but I'm in a different type of body of water. It's more of a lake, even though it's still connected to the river. It's between two dams. And I'm seeing kind of diagonal lines in my graph. Do you know anything about that? I don't know what it is. That doesn't happen on the river. I'm in 26 feet of water. Oh, okay. That really means he's a good charter. He's a good charter captain. He knows where the fish are at instinctually. Everybody, we have Robert in the room with us today in the live stream. Today's his birthday. He's 10 years old. So wish him a happy birthday. He's out in California. He's pulling an all-nighter watching YouTube. That makes sense, SWC. I believe that. I went live a little bit earlier, but then my wife called me right in the middle of it. I went live for about 15-20 minutes. Then my wife called, so I got off to answer that. Then I've been live now for about 15 minutes. I haven't caught any fish yet. No, I was just resetting my bait. When you're catfishing, Robert, I believe in fast fishing. So I'll leave a bait in the water about 10 or 15 minutes, and then if I don't move totally, I'll just reposition the bait to a different spot. And yeah, so some guys believe in setting in a spot, watching the graph, and trying to find fish that way, leaving the bait out as long as you can. But my favorite YouTuber is River Certified, Spencer Bauer. He has a channel called River Certified, and he fishes for catfish. And he fast fishes too. And after watching him do it, I kind of taken on that philosophy as well. I'm seeing a lot of bait fish right now. That's awesome. Hopefully we can get some of them to get a predator fish to bite. We'll give this spot another 10 or 15 minutes, and if it doesn't produce anything, we'll move down a little bit. No need to apologize. If you're not used to it, you'll see someone who fast fishes, you'll see them adjust their rods and their baits every 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen your videos and I believe that, SWC. If they're not in the spot that you're at, you're not getting any bites and you're not seeing them, or you know, no indication of life, no top water activity, no swirls, especially in shallow water where you can probably see the fish, it's best to move on. Nice. Okay, fishing at the beach. Yeah, I've never deep sea fished, or even saltwater fished for that matter. How old's your brother, Robert? That's probably just life experience and patience. You keep fishing, you'll catch up to him. Let me show you guys where we're at today. I am on, it's not a huge body of water. It's called Bibb Pond. It's in Bibb City, which is part of Columbus, Georgia. And, but it's deep. So I was kind of hoping that with this heat, going deeper might get more bites, but so far that hasn't played out. All right, your brother's 8. That, man, that's an age gap, 8-year difference between you two. Air Force. I was in the Army. I always said that. Good for him. Yeah, yeah, but believe it or not, so Lake Oliver Dam is to my left and the power generating station is to my right. That's why this body of water exists here. And there's a lot more, there's no flow on the surface and a lot of flow underneath. I try to go fishing every weekend. I do have a real job. I have to work during the week. And I do have a wife who wants to spend time with me as well. And so you have to juggle that. But I do like to fish. I do try to fish as often as I can. I wish I could say that, SWC. Another one of my favorite YouTubers is a local guy here. His name is Captain Ken. And I believe he does charters, but he also just fishes a lot for himself. And I learned a lot watching him about these Georgia waters. I think he's out of West Point, Georgia, or West Point, Alabama. And his lake is West Point Lake, I believe. Boy, I'm seeing a lot of topwater activity over there. That's got to be a school of stripers going after shad. Well, we're just now in July, so summer barely started. Officially, I'm not sure when summer ends. We still got another month or so of school, you know, not being in school summer. It's hot as heck here, though. Hey, sick dog. That's a good place to be in, SWC. Plus, you produce a lot of content. So I don't know if you're monetized or anything yet on YouTube, but you produce a lot of content. So if you are monetized, I'm sure that helps a little bit. Also, maybe I don't know how old you are, but maybe you're retired as well, or not retired, but you know, you're doing your charter thing for more of a full time. September 22nd, that's the end of summer. Is that the official solstice? Or how does that measure? I forget how that works. The summer solstice was not too long ago. Give these baits about 5 more minutes in the water and then I'm moving. Water's really low here. Well, not really low, but it's low. This body of water has a lot of giant boulders in it. Before the dams were put in, this part of the river was just strewn with giant boulders and kind of cliffs. And now there's a dam, you have to be careful when you boat because there's a lot of giant boulders just under the surface. Nice, SWC, congratulations. That's awesome. Okay. Got some, maybe a little bit of activity. I'm thinking there's a lot of turtles in this water too, being that it's more still. My grandpa did the same thing, SWC. After World War II, he came home and bought land and bought houses and was a landlord for a long time. And he worked for a big power company in southeast Kansas called Empire Electric, and retired from there back when you could retire from a job and still make a living. And he held property and land and sold a lot of that and made a lot of money. Lived a very comfortable life. Florida is one of those states that if you can buy the right piece of land, I don't know if you bought land in Florida, but Florida is one of those growing states that if you buy the right piece of land, someone will come along and buy it from you for more than you paid for it, that's for sure. Supercars are cool. Alright, I'm going to start reeling in the poles. I'm going to stay live, but I am going to move. My motor is kind of loud, but I'll stay live, and I'll turn my motor, or I'll turn my camera around so you guys can see as I move. Kind of check out the environment. Probably time to freshen up these baits too. Nice. Get them in private lakes where them fish aren't heavily fished. That sounds like a good time. All right, I'm gonna turn my camera around to get my anchor up, and then I'm gonna start moving. repositioned. I'm in 13 feet of water, but I think it drops off a little bit on either side of me. I think it's deeper than that in places. We're kind of in one of the main channels in between two islands. I don't know if you could tell when the camera's facing the other way, but you can see the highway bridge over there. That's the dam behind me now. And when they do pump water, when they do let water out of the lake, it moves really quickly through here. Let's see, I need to cut up a piece of skipjack. Using skipjack today, frozen skipjack. Slimy bugger, not easy to cut. I think this frozen skipjack was, I bought this off of a guy. I bought these skipjacks off of a guy, and I think he had fished with this skipjack, let it unthaw, and then refroze it, because it's already turning a little bit mushy, but we'll work with it. The pole to my left is kind of in that channel I was talking about, and the pole to my right is kind of off of a point in that same channel. I am seeing a lot. It's 16 feet deep right here, Robert. When I was coming around that island from that spot where I was at, it got as deep as 30 feet over there. I am seeing a lot more bait fish here. This third rod you see me messing with is a suspended rod, so it's just suspended all the way to the bottom of the river, and then I reel it up a little bit just to be just right off the bottom. This is the old river, and yeah, worms would do well out here. You get a lot of channel cats with worms, panfish, bluegill, probably even some small blue cats. I like all catfish. Man, that 40-pound flathead that I caught was pretty difficult to get in the boat. But to be honest, the hardest fish to get in the boat by far was a 4.5-foot gar that I caught, a garfish. And I have it on video. It's pretty funny because I didn't have the right equipment. I didn't want to catch a gar, but gar will eat anything just like catfish. And when I got it, it took 5 or 6 times to try to get it in the boat, and every time so I gill plated it. So I would try to hook my fingers into its gills and lift it up. But you got to be careful because that's a really sharp part of the fish is the gills, and it'll cut you like crazy. But if you do it right, you're all right. And that video is pretty funny. Every time it jumps, you can see me just crap my pants a little bit, thinking it's going to get me. That was really tough to get in the boat. But he was so tired by the time, he just kind of gave up. But it took 5 or 6 times to get him in the boat. Yeah, they are super fun. That guy I mentioned earlier, Captain Ken, he likes to gar fish, and he makes these nylon lures. They don't even have a hook in them. And I think I'm going to do that just for fun one of these days. You just take a piece of nylon rope, like what I got on my anchor rope, and you separate it so it looks like hair, like a doll hair, and then you use a swivel and you run it through that, and you tie it up, and that nylon gets all tangled up in their teeth. And I guess that's the best way to get them in the boat. Well, not in the boat, but get them to the boat. You might notice I don't have my camera on today. Yesterday my battery packs got a little bit wet, just a little bit moist, and I left them in the house to dry, the charger for the batteries, and then I left early this morning and forgot all the batteries. So my cameras have batteries in them, but they need to be charged, so they're in my waterproof box charging right now. We have I don't know if they're needle nose gar, but they're very small. They chase everything. I think they call them glass fish, but they look like a gar to me. They're almost translucent. You can almost see through them. They're pretty cool. And if you're like fishing for panfish or something and you got a small enough hook, you can catch one. But they're different. So I don't know if a needle nose gar and a glass fish is the same thing, but when you said needle nose gar, that's what I thought of. I'm gonna go ahead and put out my drift sock. Even though the water looks like glass, there's just enough current to make my boat sway too much. So I'm gonna put out my drift sock. I don't think that's going to help. Yeah, that's not going to help at all. It was literally just floating there doing nothing. So Robert, let me ask you, how did you find my channel? Also, I've never had anybody tell me that I'm their favorite YouTuber. That's a weird sentence. Those diagonal lines I was talking about in the graph in that other part of the water are gone now. I'm wondering if it was big school of bait fish that was just reading funny on my graph. Oh, okay. That is cool. If you're lure fishing, those little glass fish that I'm talking about will chase your lure all over the place. They're too small to really hook into anything, but they're so see-through that you just see this wake following your lure, and you're like, what is going on? It's like a ghost. Being toxic to other fish, that's probably a pretty good defense mechanism. Taco Bell is toxic to me, but I still eat it. I knew it was a risk to come to this body of water because I just don't know how to fish it yet. But you don't know until you get out there, and you can't learn until you get out and try to fish. That's the needle nose gar, has a really long nose full of teeth. Nice. Man, I tell you what, there's a strip of the river right down where I launched from that has a ledge. I'm sure you've heard me talking about it, but the river itself is not that deep, maybe 6 to 10 feet in places in this strip that I like to fish. But there's a ledge that drops off 5 or 6 feet from the Georgia side, and those catfish seem to ended up catch day. I ended up catching 4 blue cats yesterday. All right, time to freshen up. There's a reason why nothing was biting that one. I've never been skunked on the main part of the river. Might get skunked on this part today. I've never gone under the highway bridge because it gets real shallow over there. Today might be the day that I go under there and see what's over there. Turn a camera around and show you the highway. That's where all those big boulders are at. There's no breeze today either. It's going to be warm. See if my cameras are charged. That one's charged. Yeah, you're not wrong about that. That water is super shallow. Like, my boat does not draft much at all. Like, yesterday I drove through 1.5 feet of water, no problem. But that's how shallow that gets over there, and those boulders kind of freak me out. It's deeper on the other side. All right, hooking my cameras up. The fish now know to go ahead and start biting because I can record. That's how that works, isn't it? All right, I'm ready for the fish to start biting now. We'll give this spot another couple minutes, and we'll move again. Welcome to my live stream, everybody. We're fishing today on a new body of water for me. We're in an area of the river called Bibb Pond. It's more of a lake. I might be getting a bite over here. See that? The catfish knew my action cameras are ready. Boy, that is a slow takedown. That might be a flathead. Need the rod to bend a little bit more. That's different. Wondering if that's a turtle. My line just went slack. So if that's a flathead, it has swallowed my bait and it's just sitting there with it. If it's a turtle, then he's robbed me of my bait. Flatheads have generally, I don't know if being big or small makes a difference, but flatheads generally have, so if your pole is like this, a blue cat hits it like this, right? But a flathead will go like this. We'll just bring it down. This line is super slack. I'm gonna see if I got any bait left. Still got some bait, but it's been gnawed on, and you can tell the difference between a turtle and a catfish bite, gnawing on the bait, because there's pad marks, not beak marks. So turtle has a beak that acts like a scissors, and will just cut into the bait, like just take chunks. And so when the turtle's hitting, it'll do this a lot. The pole will do this, because that's it down there, just yanking and pulling on it. Blue cats like this, flatheads like this. I'm seeing plenty of fish. Like, there's a big one that just went under my boat right now. This skipjack that I'm using today was a monster. This was a 3-pound skipjack, which is a giant skipjack. Maybe not 3 pounds, but it was 2. I want to throw this head, but for a head size like this, you need a giant hook. And I do have a circle hook on, and I do have a 9/0 circle hook. That might be big enough, but that headpiece will draw a lot of turtles too. This line over here is doing something now. Another 10 more minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'm moving. I'm seeing a lot of fish. I really thought I'd get a lot of channel cats on this suspended rod, but the suspended rod hadn't even been touched once. I didn't know there was different types of flathead. I'll have to look that up. That's pretty cool. Now, all those colors that you mentioned, black, brown, and yellow flathead, I've caught several flathead in all those colors. Some of them are even speckled in all the colors. So that's interesting. I'll have to figure out if there's if they're named like that around here as well. Oh, bullheads. Yeah, definitely. I just did a whole series of videos, AI videos about bullheads on my channel. I would love to catch some bullheads. That's excellent bait. It's funny you said that though. Those colors you mentioned for the bullheads, flatheads have the same colors. A lot of times they're speckled in all 3 of those colors. So I was convinced that there's like subgroups of flatheads as well. There probably is. Yeah, I thought for sure I'd get a channel or 2 on this suspended rod, but nothing so far. Yeah, flathead are really pretty. Sometimes they're gold. the yellow in them contrasted on the black on their body makes the yellow look really gold. That's interesting. The same bite is happening on that pole again. Just a real slow tightness of the line while the pole just moves down like this. Let me see if I can show you. I don't know if you'll be able to tell. Watch the tip. The tip will go down a little bit and then come back up. See how tight it is right now? That line was just slack a few seconds ago. I don't know what that is. See it going down right now? It's going down. See that? See it move? So something down there has it in its mouth right now. There it goes. Keep going. Oh. All right, I'm gonna turn this around. Try something. Oh, yeah, pulled it right out of its mouth. See, you gotta be patient, man. That was a slow bite. That's probably a flathead. I'm gonna go ahead and reposition, and I think I'm gonna go ahead of that bite and cast downriver. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I don't know what that could have been other than a catfish. Now, you know, I'm talking about that slow bite for flatheads. They don't always slow bite. Like, there's nothing in nature that's definitive. Those are just clues. That could have been a gar down there just chewing on it. It would have been more tore up than that, but it could have been. All right, I'm gonna turn my camera around so you guys can enjoy the nature. So I'm in 6 feet of water, but it's a way deeper over here. So this is a ledge. I'm going to cast into the deepness along that ledge. See what happens. I don't have to drive very far at all. I live maybe 3 to 4 miles away from here. And then the other places I go fish are even closer. This is a River City. I'm gonna go ahead and use that big old skipjack head. See what happens. Oh, this thing weighs 1.5 pounds by itself, I'd say. No, that's an exaggeration, but it was heavy. Yeah, I don't have to drive very far at all. 5-10 minutes at most. There's some really good spots around me where I could drive like 30 to 40 an hour away. Some very famous lakes and rivers, but I haven't done that yet. The fishing's too good right here. I'll probably wait until I get my John boat done. All right, Mr. C, I appreciate you watching the live stream today and doing what you do. Really appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and finish my in the live stream, try to do some fishing here. But I appreciate your time today. You have a good rest of your weekend, all right? See ya.